I think we can start now. Everybody's ready. Let me welcome all participants of today's webinar on Pathfinder, and transition, as a matter of fact, course. I would like to welcome also our speakers. We have with us Gerald Courteau, Head of Sector of EIC Pathfinder Open, and Malta Calderaro from APRE, from Italy, a national contact point for innovation, for European Innovation Council actions. And at the end of our webinar, we will have Zehra Çataltepe from TASI Bilisim. She will present successful project in Future and Emerging Technologies program. So today's, as I said, the training is dedicated to Pathfinder and Transition course. European Innovation Council work program is officially published and available from portal, funding and tender portal. In this work program, there is a third call. It's European Innovation Council Accelerator, but Accelerator will be covered by some of our other trainings. So please follow information on the project website and on TÜBİTAK website about our future trainings on Accelerator. They are coming soon. We have webinars, we have proposal writing trainings on Accelerator, so there is a lot of support actions regarding this component of European innovation, this action of European Innovation Council work program. This Pathfinder, this calls of European Innovation Council are building on experiences from the previous Horizon 2020 program. I'm sure that our speakers will elaborate more about that. So this is on future and emerging technologies, on ERC proof of concept, and of course, Accelerator is building upon Accelerator Pilot, which probably you are familiar with from Horizon 2020. There are already 9 calls open, including Pathfinder Open. So this call is already open. We will be covering it in more details. So one more technical things. You can ask questions in writing during the whole training. We will try to answer these questions, and our speakers, of course, will answer them during the presentations or during Q&A sessions. And we will also have very short polls using Slido, which will be announced. So please prepare your mobile phones. So concluding, my name is Aleksander Bakowski. I will be moderating this webinar, and I'm team leader of Technical Assistance Project Turkey in Horizon 20, which is supposed to support Turkish stakeholders in participation now in Horizon Europe. And this training is organized by our project together with TÜBİTAK. So now I would like to pass the floor to Tarık Şahin from TÜBİTAK, Directorate for International Cooperation, to give introductory speech.
Thank you, Alexander. Thank you for the introduction. I would also like to welcome our participants to this unique event. There has been, as you all know, there has been many changes on EIC program under the new Horizon Europe. Today, we will try to cover 2 main funding mechanisms under EIC. As you already mentioned, Accelerator is being covered by other events, but this event will be a very unique opportunity for the participants, I think, since we will be listening the program from two experienced experts in the field. I would also like to thank Mr. Gerald Kulso from the European Commission and Ms. Marta Calderaro from APRE for their valuable contributions to the event. I would also like to thank Professor Zehra Çataltepe. It will be very exciting to hear her experiences as a partner of a FED project. I will now share with you a very small introductory presentation about our functions. And I'm trying to share my screen right now. Yes. My name is Tarık Şahin. I used to be the national contact point for SMEs during the Horizon 2020 time, and I hope to be nominated as the national contact point for EIC in the New Horizon Europe as far as we conclude our association process. As you all know, the framework programs, which was started in 1984, and now we are at the time frame of the 9th framework program, which is the Horizon Europe. This program has started with the starting of 2021, and from Horizon 2020 to Horizon Europe, there has been many changes in the program in terms of EIC, I guess. The EIC program was started to be started as a pilot in 3 years ago, and now we are in the fully fledged functioning of the program. And as you see on the top side, you see the structure of the Horizon 2020. And while passing through the Horizon Europe, we have seen some changes in the program. We are now under the third pillar, which is named Innovative Europe. And the previous Innovative SMEs and Access to Risk Finance program is included in the new EIC program. And we also have now the FED program, Future Emerging Technologies, under the EIC program. So FED program is now the Pathfinder program, and Pathfinder is, together with the Transition and Accelerator, one of the main funding tools of the EIC program. As you see, the changes also cover the funding mechanisms of 3 programs as well. There will be an open funding option, which means there will be no restriction in terms of the thematic areas of the project proposals. And there will be also some strategic challenges which will be specific to the already introduced challenges by the European Commission. And of course, we will also have the prizes and the business acceleration services as we used to have during the previous program as well. TÜBİTAK is from the starting of Turkish participation in the framework program. TÜBİTAK is the main coordinating organization in Turkey, and we have now a dedicated website for the Horizon Europe. And actually, it is named Ufuk 2020 Horizon 2020 or TR, but now we are preparing a new website for the new Horizon program. But for the current position, you can find us from ufuk2020.org.tr. If you go into COVID destekleri section, you will find our information about the. We are now currently sharing all kind of developments and information about the EIC program under this section. And you will also find our contact information in this web page, which is, as you see on the screen. We are 3 experts working for EIC at the moment. You see myself, my colleagues, Merve Diyar and Merve Polat as well. And as the National Coordination Office of the Framework Programs in Turkey, we have some support and award mechanisms as well. I would also like to mention these awards and supports, which means we are supporting participation and we are supporting increasing quality of the proposals, and we are supporting the coordination, the increase of the coordination in the projects, and we also try to encourage participants, successful participants, with the hours we provide. But of course, we are now entering into a new term, to a new program, which means these awards and support mechanisms are under evaluation, and we will launch a new mechanism about these supports very soon. And actually, I would also like to mention our social media accounts as well. And we have an official account on Twitter, and we also have an official account on LinkedIn, and we are sharing all information about all Horizon Europe through these through these social media accounts. And actually, this is all from my side for the audiences. Of course, we are always ready for your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tariq, for your introductory presentation. We have two questions, if you could answer maybe. One is interesting question. If company received Seal of Excellence in SME Phase 1, which program is the best to apply with this project? I understand.
Yes.
Not easy to answer, probably.
Yeah. Actually, for the current program, the only one I can offer is the accelerator, of course. But now accelerator has jumped some changes in it, and there will be a short application phase and the full application phase. So I advise the company to start submitting their short application as soon as possible. There's no phase 1 anymore, as we all know. Yeah, that's my answer. They can prepare themselves for accelerator. If they want to apply on their own, I guess. If of course they will hear about other opportunities. If they have innovative enough for Pathfinder, and they can also establish a consortium, they can also apply for Pathfinder as well. But accelerator seems a better option for them. Is this presentation mainly for companies? No, actually, this is for all kind of participants, I guess.
Yes, all types of organizations may participate. That's fine. Okay, thank you very much. So we would like to get some more information about participants. That's why we would like to start Slido poll. Where are we ready? There will be two simple questions to you about your previous experiences in R&D projects. That's the first one. Yes, you can scan the code to log in, use your mobile phones and answer our questions about your experiences in previous framework programs, European funding, in other EU-funded projects, and in Turkish R&D projects, so national funding. You can select more than one if you have experience in more than, not only in Turkish, but also in European projects. We'll wait a few more minutes to get used to Slido. Well, yeah, one more. Okay. Okay, I think we can move to the next question. The next question is related to the question from the audience. What is type of organization you work for? Yes, it seems that 50% of participants are from private sector, and 1/4, maybe even more, is from universities, and the rest is from other organizations. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution to this poll. And now let's move on with our agenda. And I would like to ask our guest from European Commission, Gérard Courteau, to start. Gérard, yeah.
Hello, good afternoon. I just want to have a quick check. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay, because I've experienced a few disruptions in the last 20 minutes and I wanted to make sure it's all fine. So let me go now to my slides. Can you see my slides? And only my slides?
Yes.
All right. So thanks a lot, Alexander, and thank you for having me this afternoon. As you know, we've just started this new agency with launching the EIC work program, and I'm delighted to be here to maybe present at a high level first about this program and why actually we are doing this program. So my name is Gérard Courteau. I'm head of sector in the EIC Pathfinder unit, and I'm in charge of the open sector. And I'm partner of this new edition called EIC, which is European Innovation Council and SME Executive Agency. So you should see the next slides. I'm trying to reduce this. All right. So the purpose of my presentation is mainly to introduce and explain why we are doing this and at the European Commission level. So the first thing is that we started by acknowledging that there was an issue, and the issue was we are old back in European innovation. So we had an issue related to innovation performance, and we have a strong research community in Europe, but it's not always translated into innovations. That was the first thing that we noticed. And there was a lack of breakthrough and disruptive innovations to create new markets. So that was the very first thing that we acknowledged a few years ago. And the second thing there was some kind of innovation funding gap. So we had two valleys of debt. There was a first one is to translate from the lab to enterprise. So really to go from research to technology and industry. And the second one was about the scaling up. So once we have created these technologies, how do we scale up and how do we bring these high risk innovative startups at a high level? So this was a second thing that we have seen. And the last one was about the innovation ecosystem in Europe, because as you know, there are innovation ecosystem in the world, like Silicon Valley in the US, to name the most famous one. And in Europe, we have many national and local ecosystems, but they are fragmented at European level. And this is also one issue that we wanted to address with this program. So we needed to include all regions and all talents, and especially female talents. And this is why we have think about designing something new. And this new thing is the EIC. So if you look on this graph, to give you a bit more insight, you can see that there is a major financing gap, and the EIC will try to fill in this gap, funding innovation that cannot achieve private financing. So we understand that it's difficult to achieve high-risk project private financing, and we need to help you to develop your ideas and move it and scale it up. As you can see on this graph, you see that the US venture capital investment is 4 to 5 times higher than the one of the EU. So that's a huge gap. And you can see that this gap is increasing. When you look the year from 2016 to 2020, you can see that this gap is actually going even, it's a wider gap today than it used to be. So the idea is really to support the most talented innovators and researchers and to spread awareness of this impactful innovation and encourage private investment and support the scale-up. So that's really something that is designed in the EIC. And it's really important to understand that we want to have a full spectrum, I would say, from the idea to the market. If you look at this additional graph, you can see the number of unicorns. We would like to be labeled, I would say, the unicorn factory. So this is the goal of the EIC, to become the unicorn factory in Europe. And when you look at the figures again, from the number of unicorns, the regions where they are located, you can definitely see that we are lagging behind. So a unicorn, as you know, most probably is any company is valued over 1 billion euro or dollars, actually. But in Europe, you can see that we have, let's say, 5 times less than in North America, and it's basically the same as in Asia. So again, we are lagging behind, and that's also one aspect we have acknowledged and why we have been creating this new scheme. Now, if we look at what is at stake and what will lead the next wave of important technologies, there is another aspect that we've seen, is that in the past, let's say 100 years ago, Europe was at the forefront. So when you look at electricity, car, synthetic chemicals, and the like, we were really at the forefront. And currently, you can see already that with social media, GPS, digital platforms, cloud, blockchain, these are new technologies, but they are actually actual technologies. And there is a strong EU lead in these different aspects, and also Asia lead. But then we are looking towards the future with the EIC. So what will be the next wave of important technologies? So you have here a few examples, like hydrogen fuel cells, neurotechnologies, CRISPR-Cas, quantum computing, and etc., etc. So these are amongst the next wave of the strategically important technologies. And this is where we want to be also positioned for the future to create these new markets and to really acknowledge that we develop new technologies for Europe. So I would like to now explain to you what is our experience from the EIC pilot phase after having explained all this. So we have started 3 years ago, actually in 2018. And our experience has been quite good because we have had a budget of 3.5 billion euros. And for the year 2020 alone, the budget was at 1.55 billion euros. So we really put an effort into creating this EIC pilot, and it was quite successful. We also introduced the EIC pilot blended finance in 2019, and we have set up a new EIC fund in 2020. So there was a very high demand in this EIC pilot phase. We have received more than 14,000 applications from SME and startups in 2020, and with a global request of over 40 billion support. So that was a huge success, and we definitely understood that there was a need, and we are trying to fill in this gap with the EIC, but it was very successful. So we had also last year provided more specific support. As you can guess, there was a specific one on COVID-related innovations. So we had 36 startup SMEs who were awarded a funding of over 160 million euros in May last year. We also, as you know, have a Green Deal focus in Europe, and we also funded 64 startups and SMEs for over 300 million euros last year in July. And we are also investing in women innovators, where we want to have at least 25% of startup and SMEs are invited to interview to have a female CEO. So these are, I would say, special support that we have done last year, and we will mostly continue on some of these aspects. And we have also done something very important, which is the first EIC program managers recruitment. So we have 4 program managers working with us now. So that's a key novelty in which I will dive later on, but it's a key change also in the management of our projects. If I look at the impact for the EIC Pilot Accelerator, so which is in another unit, and nevertheless, it's really interesting to look at what was included in this specific scheme. If you look at the 3 areas, so maybe in terms of growth, the support to startup and SMEs has been tremendous, with 5,700 SMEs and startups supported since 2014. And of course, 293 supported in Einein's pilot, and some of them were also awarded the newly created blended finance, so which means grant plus equity, and there were 159 which received 700 million euros in terms of equity. And we have also increased in startup with female CEO. In terms of investment, we have crowded in over investors, and that's also one of the goals of this program. With 5.3 billion follow-up investment to EIC supported company. So these are additional investors that came after we have started to fund the company. And we have also the EIC fund investment decisions in over 50 companies. To be noted, one unicorn, which is then valued to more than 1 billion euros, which is called Selink. And Selink has a particularity actually to have been funded both by what we call now the Pathfinder, or what used to be FET Open, but also by the SME instrument, which would be the accelerator. So it has been funded by the full spectrum, I would say, of the EIC. We have now 43 centers, which are companies which are valued over 100 million euros. And the last aspect is really about addressing the sustainable development goals, which are also very important. And if you look at our portfolio of projects, which I will show you afterwards, we have the main thematics addressed, and 30% of our portfolio is in Green Deal, 30% in digital, and another 30% in health. So that also includes COVID solutions. Looking maybe into more details of our projects in the EIC Pilot Pathfinder, so now I refocus on the Pathfinder. You can see the number of projects in the different type of applications and technologies. So if we take health and digital, for example, you can see that we have 125 projects in health and another 101 in digital aspects, applications. So basically, all these projects that you can see, there are 336 now, have had a proven impact, and with 590 innovations and 451 addressing new or emerging markets. So that's quite an achievement. And also in terms of publication, because we're also about science, we have more than 2,662 peer-reviewed scientific publications and 72% in high-profile journals. So that also shows the quality of the project we are funding. So that's also quite impressive and very nice figures for the program. And this was at the pilot phase. So now, what will we do with the new European Innovation Council scheme? Well, first, this is the most ambitious innovation initiative in Europe. And this 10 billion program to identify, develop, and scale up breakthrough technologies and disruptive innovations in Europe is the biggest actually we've done in Europe. As it was mentioned earlier by Tariq, the Horizon Europe is 95.5 billion euros, and out of this 95.5 billion euros, you have then 10 billion which are allocated specifically to the EIC. This is also unique in the world to combine research on emerging technologies with accelerators for startups, SMEs, and scale-ups. This is also something new with the EIC fund. This is a
we lost connection.
part of the
Well, it seems that we lost connection, right, with Gerald. Should we wait some time to reestablish it?
Let's wait 30 seconds, Alexander.
Okay,
I think he will be rejoining, but his connection looks very unstable.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
So where was I cut? Tell me, where should I, because I was talking alone, I understand now.
You started about EIC program and the first
Yeah, Okay, let me go. So I will present again my slides. So that's the technicalities. It would have been better that we meet face to face next time.
Of course.
I hope. So let me share again my slide then. Okay. So can you see the slides?
Yes.
Okay. So I will go back and you let me know where, because this is where I was, and let me know then.
I think. Oh, you were here. First, no.
You've seen that one?
Move forward. Yeah. Move
Forward.
forward.
Okay.
Forward. Yeah, that slide. You were at the end of this slide.
I was at the end of this slide.
Or
Okay.
in the middle, or maybe in the middle.
All right. So anyway, I will repeat afterwards some of these aspects. So
Yeah.
let's not read too much. So going to the details now again of the EIC. So I was saying that it's part of the Horizon Europe, which is a 95.5 billion euros scheme. And we have a share of 10 billion for the European Innovation Council. Then another part of the European Innovation Council is basically the European Innovation Ecosystems, which aims at connecting with regional and national innovation actors. So the budget here is 520 million. And the last one is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, so the EIT. And the budget here is 2.9 billion euros. So now, what is EIC? The EIC is really aiming at being the one-stop shop for breakthrough deep tech market creating innovators. So it's really open to all innovators in any field at any time. It's complemented by targeted funding and strategic challenges. And it's highly competitive for Europe's high potential innovators. So we have a very small success rate because it's very competitive among stakeholders. The second thing is that it's also an agile funding scheme from the idea to investment. So the Pathfinder is mainly for advanced research on emerging technologies, so really market creating technologies. So we are at the very beginning in the Pathfinder. Then the transition scheme goes from the lab to commercial setting. And finally, the accelerator and EIC fund is there to scale up innovation by startups and SMEs. And finally, the last aspect of the EIC is about building ecosystems and communities. And it's really about access to business acceleration services. So we have schemes related to coaches, mentoring, corporate events, etc. We have also now the EIC program managers to develop visions for breakthrough, manage portfolios, and connect to ecosystem. And finally, the crowding in of other investors. In terms of governance, we have an EIC board and a president to set a strategy and advise on the work program and implementation. We also have the agency that has been set up as of the 1st of April. So we are very young. We have actually only 15 days of existence now, and to manage all these EIC activities. There is also the EIC fund, which is a special instrument to manage equity investments in EIC supported companies. And finally, European Commission to appoint the board, adopt the work program, and monitor the implementation.
Oh. Again, we lost our speaker.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, now
Yeah.
we are back again.
All right.
So maybe if you want, I can share the screen for you and change the slide, and we can try to close the cameras. So probably the connection can be.
Yes, we can try this. I can start to stop my video, but I still need to move the slide, I would say. But okay, let's be quick. I will try to be a bit faster because I don't know why the connection is so bad, but okay, it happens. And we try to be a bit faster. And I'm sure anyway that Martha will go back to some of these aspects anyway. So I'm quite confident about this. So let me be a bit quicker then. And I will just remove my camera for now. All right. So I guess I can start from the beginning of this slide, right, Alexander?
Yes.
All right. So I was saying that we have three main instruments and characteristics. The first one is the Pathfinder, and the Pathfinder is basically for early stage research and breakthrough technologies, and it accepts grants up to 3 or 4 million euros, depending on the scheme. And it's a successor of the FET Open and Proactive that you have seen in Underage 2020. The second instrument is called the Transition, and it goes through the maturity of the technologies. So it's really going from the proof of concept to validation. There is also aspect on business market readiness, and the grants are up to 2.5 million. Then the last instrument is the accelerator, which helps to development and scale up of deep tech disruptive innovations by startup and SMEs. It has blended finance aspects with grants up to 2.5 million and equity investment up to 15 million euro. The successor of the SME instrument, basically. Can you still hear me? I just want to make some checks from time to time.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Perfectly now.
Yes, I will do this from time to time. You will allow me. Then, so the mission is really to identify, develop, and deploy high-risk innovation of all kinds. It's really to focus on breakthrough, market creating, and deep tech. There is a steering by EIC board of leading innovators. There are also business acceleration services like the coaching, mentoring, and other aspects. And I will dive maybe a bit into the last two, or at least the one on the proactive management with EIC program managers, because this is quite a novelty, and I think we would like to introduce a few of these items. And the last one is really about follow-up funding for results from Horizon 2020. So basically from ERC or EIT. So, as I said, I would like to go a bit more deeply in the proactive management, because this is a key novelty of the EIC compared to the pilot. So basically, I would say that the applications for funding, we need to define a number of milestones, and this will be a bit more scrutinized than in the past. So milestones are really things that the program managers will look into. The reviews to decide on whether to continue, reorient, or suspend, or even stop a project could be taken according to achievement of these milestones. And reviews may also lead to amendment to future milestones. So it's there is also another positive aspect I would like to mention as well, is that there could be that some reorientation or support, additional support provided if needed, thanks to the business acceleration services. So it's really a closer look at the projects than in the past, and it's done mainly by the program managers. And the second aspect is that the projects now will be allocated to portfolios. So it's especially, but not only for projects selected under the Pathfinder Challenge calls, even the Pathfinder Open will be allocated to thematic portfolios. These portfolios will be foreseen by the EIC program managers, and they have really objective and roadmap will be prepared with and by the program managers, and it will be done in consultation with the project and beneficiaries. There is also a portfolio of activities that will be supported, so events, data sharing, to strengthen the overall portfolio and to prepare the transition to innovation. So it's really to detect and find the breakthrough innovations and support them or reorient when needed to the next scheme of the EIC. For the portfolio approach, when it is a challenge portfolio approach, it will be a coherent set of projects which will be exploring different perspectives, competing approaches, or complementary approaches for the challenge. We expect still multidisciplinary interaction exchanges for synergies and serendipity, which is often very important when you do research. And finally, this will be contributing to the long-term or middle-term business goal and technology-based strategic plan under the supervision of the EIC program managers. So there will be a roadmap explained as well, and which will be built with the projects. So relevant projects will participate in relevant portfolio activities. By default, I would say for the project and the Pathfinder challenges, because they are by default part of a portfolio. But it could also happen that the open projects also are part of thematic portfolio or even challenge portfolio if relevant. Looking at the role of program managers, as I said, there are 4 new managers, program managers in EIC, and more are coming. But basically, their role is really to bring their expertise and their vision to drive these technology breakthroughs. So it's really about accelerating all this and maybe to lead to success. And the part that is called proactive management takes into account this vision, and it is based also on knowledge, innovation, intelligence, and actions with innovation initiative, and project portfolio can then work together and be catalyzers of impact. So it's about maybe also working together. So we noticed in the past that projects were sometimes working also in isolation. And it's a good way to actually create a community and to really catalyze the impact. So that's a key element that the EIC program manager will bring in the management of the project. In the proactive management impacts, as you can see, I will go very quickly. So it's really to engage interaction among the projects. It's also to give a vision to ambitious targets. It's also nurturing the transition to innovation, so not staying only at research level, but really trying to transform this research into innovation. It's about bridging the EIC projects with other European programs like the ERC, sorry. It's about identifying regulatory or legislative gaps and propose opportunities to bridge them. And the last one is really to steer the research and innovation towards EU policy orientation. So really to help us take strategic directions and influence the policy. So that's really important in terms of policy feedback. Then other activities are the EIC prizes, Women Innovators, Capital of Innovation, Innovation Procurement, and Social Innovation. These are the 4 prizes which are foreseen today. We will help also to pilot co-creating solutions for procurers, and also finally enhance the partnerships between ERC and EIT with the fast track scheme, and also see plugging pilot to see if we cannot leverage also the projects which are at member states level and member states programs. There is also the Enterprise Europe Network and the Startup Europe scheme in terms of partnerships. Before I go, do you still hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you. I'm checking. So some statistics very quickly, and I try to finish in the next 5 minutes maximum. So some statistics, and I wanted actually to look for Turkey because I thought it was interesting to look at what has happened for the Turkish participants. So in terms of submitted proposals, we've seen that there are the applicants from Turkey in 144 grant proposals out of 6,882 submissions, and that represents a presence rate of 2.1%. Again, I repeat, this is for the EIC Pathfinder pilot. In total, there was 184 participation, and in this 184 participations, there were 27 as coordinator and 157 as partner. These were the proposals, but in terms of funded projects, actually, Turkey has taken part in 6 grants out of 549, so that's quote of 1.1%. And the total budget for these 6 grants is 2.07 million euros out of the total of 1.5 billion euros. So this is a share that the participants, the Turkish participants, have taken in the funded project. I've also put the names actually of the entities. I'm not able to pronounce all of them, but you can see that the first one has participated or is participating in 3 projects, and the other ones have participated in 1 project. So there are today 6 participation from the EIC Pathfinder pilot. And I would like to finish maybe with 1 example, because this is actually the last projects that we received, and I wanted maybe to give a little focus to give you a flavor of the kind of projects that we actually fund, but that's just an example. And it's called Robo Royal, and it's a robotic replicants for optimizing the yield by augmenting living ecosystems. So that's the subtitle. But basically, it's a project which is very interesting in the sense that it wants to develop micro-robotic systems designed to operate with the honeybee queen. So it's really looking at the biological systems and integrating micro-robotic systems with biological systems and make them work together. So that's quite amazing, and that's something that will be starting actually at the end of this year. So the start date is the 1st of November of this year, and this is a very long project because it's supposed to end at the end of October 2026. So that's, I think, 5 years project. It's coordinated by the University of Manchester in the UK. You can see also there is University of Graz from Austria. There is also a university, Technical University of Prague in Czech Republic, and the Middle East Technical University from Turkey. The overall budget of this project is 3.2 million euros. And I think the Turkish participant in this case is mainly involved in the development of the robot trial system and establishing the biohybrid robot trial system. So, and also I think they are the lead in terms of dissemination of and exploitation and training of this project. So you can find all the details actually if you go on our Cordis website, but I think it was worth mentioning 1 project from our portfolio so that you can be inspired maybe, and I think that will be it for me. So thank you, and I'm open to questions if you can still hear me.
Thank you, Gerard. We can hear you perfectly now.
Yes.
We cannot see you, unfortunately.
Yes, but I can put it back because
there are 2 questions, quite long ones.
Can you project them maybe if I stop sharing, or?
The question, establishing a company and running it as a cost. Understand cost program. The R&D and invention structure does not make money, but spends money. then with this idea, can anybody apply as an individual researcher? Because if not approved, then you only spend money for nothing, and after it will be another problem to close that company. Your comments and replies will be appreciated. Well, it's difficult for me to follow the point.
Alexander, maybe we can mention that there is a new option in the EIC Accelerator that the individuals can apply for funding. If they accept to fund to formally establish their companies up to the time of the contract. So it means that they can receive the approval and then they can be able to fund to establish their company. There is an option in accelerator program like this. This can be a solution for the problem, I guess.
So how to?
Yeah.
Okay. There is a question from principal investigators of Horizon projects, including ERC. As a sociologist, I usually combine computational and artificial intelligence method to understand social phenomena. My question is whether EIC Pathfinder is open to social science projects that apply cutting-edge artificial intelligence method, or is it mostly limited to green revolution, biotechnology, topics explicitly defined in the work program? Do you think that artificially intelligence-based commercial products that aim to resolve social and political challenges can be considered under the rubric of awareness insight, which is one of the defined challenges?
Okay.
The question of challenges and social sciences.
Yeah, well, the first answer is yes. EIC Pathfinder is open to any kind of science. So if you look at Pathfinder Open, I would say yes, you can go there. Nevertheless, I sense that this is targeted to the EIC Pathfinder challenges, because I guess it's related to the call on awareness inside. And in this case, when I see AI-based commercial products, maybe it's not the right place, because we are addressing very low TRL. So if it's something that is, you are basing yourself on a commercial product, I'm not sure that actually corresponds to what we are looking for in the Pathfinder. So maybe if it's actually a higher TRL, maybe you would need to go to another scheme, like maybe the accelerator, for example. But again, for awareness inside, you would need to see the topic guide to see exactly what is needed. So you need more info about this. That's one thing. But whatever is commercial, or I would say incremental, is not really for the Pathfinder.
Yes, Pathfinder is very challenging in that respect. Innovation. There is another question about how universities can participate in this program, but I think this question will be answered by Marta in the presentations. She will be talking about consortium and content of consortium, etc. So thank you very much, Gerard, for your contribution and answers to question. And well, can we have maybe 5 minutes technical break before we will move forward?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Maybe thank you, Gerard.
Bye.
And then Marta will take the lead. Maybe 2:20 we can start. Okay?
2:20. Perfect. Thank you.
Just to take a coffee or water or whatever. Technical things. Okay, Marta, I think we can start. We can continue. So we are now at Pathfinder Open, at Pathfinder Challenges.
Okay, can you confirm me that you can see my slides?
You can see if you go to full screen, it would be perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. I will also close the different. Okay, so thank you for inviting me. I would like to thank, of course, Gerald, that has been quite clear in the presentation despite the technical issues, but also Tariq that was presenting previously the concept of the European Innovation Council. So I'm going to present the EIC Pathfinder and EIC Transition today. Just for presenting myself, I'm Marta Calderaro. I'm coming from APRE, the Italian Agency for the Promotion of European Research. I was previously an H2020 Future and Emerging Technologies National Contact Point, and today I'm going to be also an Horizon Europe National Contact Point for the European Innovation Council as well. And okay, so we are going to look at the rationale and context of the EIC, just to express also more in depth the concept behind the EIC Pathfinder. We are going to look at the EIC Pathfinder Open and Challenges schemes, the evaluation criteria, and the proposal template now available for the EIC Pathfinder Open. Then we are going to make a quick stop or coffee break, and then looking at the EIC Transition Open and Challenging schemes and the evaluation criteria. So concerning the European Innovation Council, I just would like to open my presentation in a quite easy but also funny way by showing you the video that has been presented within the official launch of the European Innovation Council, which I think that give a really good idea of the EIC concept as well. So I will share the video.
A little spark, slowly growing bigger, lighting up the dark. Imagine what it could be. What do you see? A robot that feels, sustainable fiber, or software that captures the world in 3D. Wood and wind turbines, transparent solar panels, reinventing the way we use our energy. A tiny idea, so crazy it's hard to believe. An invention with the intention to change the world drastically. It's something we would love to see. So tell us what you need to reimagine, to reinvent the world. We can give you a place where unicorns are born. You can chase your dreams, helping hands, machinery, bigger plans, or just a chance to show the world something they haven't seen. So, what do you see?
Okay, I will just stop here. So actually, as you can see, the main concept behind the European Innovation Council is behind this 10 billion program is to identify, develop, and scaling up breakthrough technologies and disruptive innovation in Europe. So by looking at the also the different schemes, as I was mentioning before, and here I wanted to give you references on the different information that we have. The European Innovation Council has been launched on the 18th of March. On the 19th of March, that was the EIC Applicants Day, where you have actually the recordings available as well as the presentation within the EIC website, as well as the EIC work program, which is dedicated to the to this year 2021 for all the dedicated actions for the European Innovation Council. So actually the EIC support the full innovation spectrum with those 3 different schemes. We are going to talk more in depth concerning the EIC Pathfinder that would like to support the emergence of breakthrough technologies and their development into disruptive innovation. But we are going also to look at the EIC Transition, which is dedicated to support the maturation of breakthrough technologies into disruptive innovation. Finally, within the EIC Accelerator, as you can see, there is a direct connection to the latest stage of the full innovation spectrum. So the phase dedicated to the scale up of the businesses and the disruptive innovation that has been supported previously. So actually the EIC Pathfinder, the EIC Transition, as well as the EIC Accelerator, would like to support with different components. We have listened about them, the EIC Pathfinder Open, as well as top-down components via the challenges. And we are going to have actually the Transition Open and Transition Challenges and Accelerator Open and Accelerator Challenges with those different 2 open and top-down components. All the different schemes, EIC Pathfinder, Transition, and Accelerator, are going also to be supported via the business acceleration services in order to guarantee within the EIC community a better support for the maturation and furthermore the acceleration of the innovation and also the entrepreneurs behind them. So actually the EIC instruments, as you can see, really support the full spectrum of innovation. So also in terms of technology readiness levels, we can see that we have within the EIC Pathfinder Open and Challenges a direct support to the first TRLs, in particular via the TRL 1, basic principle observed, to the validation in laboratory within the EIC Pathfinder. Within the EIC Transition, we are going to actually to see the maturation and development. So is going to be look at the validation from the laboratory to the demonstration in operational environment. And then within the EIC Accelerator with blended finance approach, we are going to look at the final phase for also for supporting the scaling up. So which are the common elements? I would like really to strengthen and highlight those common elements. The common elements across the 3 different schemes are the focus on breakthrough and disruptive innovation, including actually social innovation, which have the potential to create new markets or breaking the current market at the moment. Those are mainly supported via bottom-up schemes, so open to different innovation from all fields of science, technologies, and applications in any sectors. And of course, it's the innovation should be at least in the EIC Pathfinder and the EIC Transition should cut across different scientific and technological fields and sectors. All the 3 different schemes are centered on innovators by simplifying procedures, administrative requirements. There is the direct use of interviews to help the assessment of the application, in particular within the Transition and the Accelerator. But as well, within the EIC Pathfinder, there is a quite relevant openness to the high-risk disruptive innovations. So to support the innovations where there are, of course, in the EIC Pathfinder, really relevant technological risk, but also concerning the EIC Transition and the EIC Accelerator concerning other risks that are dedicated to the introduction into the market, or of course at regulatory or standardization issues. Then, as Gerald was saying, those projects are going to be managed proactively, also with the possibility to reorient which are the main project outcomes whenever needed in order to support the introduction of this innovation into the market. So actually, these also all those different schemes, as I was mentioning before, are also open to the business acceleration services, which would like to support via access to advice, coaches, as well as access to different corporates or even investors that could support the scaling up of those different measures. But what I would like to also highlight within this slide are the three keywords that we can see within the three different schemes: the exploration of breakthrough technologies within the EIC Pathfinder, the exploitation of those deep tech paradigms within the EIC transition scheme, and the final phase of the scaling up within the EIC accelerator. So concerning the EIC Pathfinder in particular, within the European Innovation Council, as also Gerald was saying, the European Innovation Council starts from the pilot that was supported from 2018 until 2020, where actually we have seen the direct support to the future and emerging technologies, open and proactive schemes, where the idea was to support the exploration from cutting-edge science to disruptive technologies. So actually the spirit that was dedicated to the exploration of those different deep tech paradigms were defined also within the pilot phase of the latest years. I wanted to give you some references. I'm not going to show this video, but you are going to look at the different videos that I put in the presentation of also afterwards to save time, where you have some examples of the different projects that are being funded, or also the emerging technological paradigms that has emerged in the previous pilot phase. So concerning the EIC Pathfinder for Advanced Research, this is going to support via grants high-risk cutting-edge projects that would like to explore new territories, explore radical innovative technologies, explore possible deep tech paradigms that are capable to create new market opportunities. The support here is dedicated to the earliest stage of scientific and technological research and development, including the proof of concept and prototypes for technology validation. The Pathfinder is open to all types of innovators. What does it mean? It means that here we have the openness to different consortia, or in the EIC Pathfinder challenges to mono-beneficiary schemes, to be open to all the different, I would say, crazy ideas that can change really the future in terms of coming from universities, research organizations, but also companies, in particular startups and small and medium enterprises, via the collaboration in multidisciplinary consortia, or in the case of the EIC Pathfinder challenges, via the possibility also to apply in a mono-beneficiary scheme. So actually, as I was mentioning before, we have two different type of schemes or components. The EIC Pathfinder Open, which actually is going to support via a bottom-up approach with no predefined topics, and the EIC Pathfinder Challenges, where the approach is the top-down approach, where actually the projects are going to be defined on the basis of challenge-driven calls that are going to tackling specific technological breakthrough by a portfolio of projects. So within the EIC Pathfinder Open, the support is going to be dedicated to interdisciplinary research and development, which actually should have some specific characteristics. Those characteristics are called gatekeepers, the EIC Pathfinder gatekeepers, which are having a long-term vision, supporting science towards technology breakthrough, and of course, having a research approach which is characterized by an high-risk, high-gain methodology. The expected outcome of the EIC Pathfinder Open is the proof of principle. Here, actually, we are going to look at proposals that are based on multidisciplinary collaboration. So starting from consortia that involve at least 3 partners from member states or associated countries in Horizon Europe, which should have at least 1 member state involved. And they are actually research and innovation actions as type of action with a 10% of eligible cost via a single step submission. So this means that we are going to have 1 full proposal application for the EIC Pathfinder Open with a 3 million euros dedicated for the single project. And in the phase of the implementation of this project, the project could also have the possibility and the chance with an agreement also with its, within the project officer to apply also for 50,000 euros dedicated to access to more exploitation measures dedicated to the results of the implementing project. The call has been opened on the 9th of April and is going to be the deadline on the 19th of May this year. So actually, the EIC Pathfinder Open is relevant in the case we would like to realize an ambitious vision for radically new technology with the potential to create new markets or to address global challenges. As I mentioned, the support is dedicated to early stage development. So we are going really to look at technology readiness levels from 1 to 4 in order to provide the foundations of the technologies that it has been envisioning. So the EIC Pathfinder gatekeepers, those characteristics that we need to identify, actually are dedicated to the long-term vision for radically new technologies that has this potential to create a transformative positive effect for our economy and society, as well as to provide advancement towards the envisioned technologies in terms of concrete, novel, and ambitious science towards technology breakthrough. And of course, via the implementation of an high-risk and high-gain research approach and methodology. I would like to express this with an example that, at least to me, was quite relevant also in terms of characteristics that those projects should have. So within the EIC Pilot Phase, there was a funded project which was called NanoSmell. In this particular project, the idea is to create devices that has the chance to allow us to perceive odor within smartphones, computers, or televisions. In this case, actually, if we imagine the reality right now that we have at the moment, we could not believe actually to to think about the perception of others within a smartphone or a computer. So we are really looking at a deep tech paradigm. At the same time, it's quite relevant and quite easy to understand the interdisciplinary character of this project, as well as the risky methodology that is going to be behind in order to make this actually plausible. We can really see the innovation potential that this project could have, and the capability to create new markets, to open new market opportunities. And as well, we have the possibility to think about the opportunities that this project could have in the future to spin out. So this is quite, to me at least, a quite relevant example to describe what an EIC Pathfinder Open should be focused on. Deep tech paradigms, interdisciplinary and risky research that has the potential to create new markets and to create disruptive technologies that have the opportunity to really rethink our next future. So the European Commission has given us the possibility to look at the previous results of the EIC Pathfinder pilot, as well as, of course, within all the European Innovation Council. And those results has been collected within the Deep Tech Europe publication, where we have the chance to look at the different projects and also the different results of those projects. As you can see, those projects has a high degree of scientific publication, but also of patent application that has been submitted after the project's implementation. Those different projects has also the, as you can see, the possibility to create new market, but also supporting the advancement on emerging markets. Furthermore, I do not want to stress so much this because also Jérôme was presenting the latest information concerning the different interdisciplinary collaboration that has been developed within the EIC Pathfinder pilot, but I would like to strengthen the latest graph that I was showing about the type of the EIC Pathfinder participants. In this case, we are going to look at on collaborative projects where at least the 50% was actually represented by academia and the 25% was represented by research organization. But here we can see also a really high relevant percentage of small and medium enterprise or other companies that has been participated for a 21% of the different consortia. This is actually something that is quite important for the European Innovation Council, which would like to strengthen also the capacity of the different small and medium enterprise, startups and spin-off to scaling up in the future. So their presence in the consortia is quite relevant. So which are the EIC Pathfinder Open evaluation criteria and the submission process? So concerning the evaluation criteria, as you can see, those criteria are the same of the usual approach of Horizon Europe, so excellence, impact, and implementation. But the main issue here is that there are thresholds and weight of those different criteria, where the excellence is the one that has a major threshold 4 to 5 and a weight of the 60%. Here, actually, you can see that also in the excellence criteria, there is a quite connection within the EIC Pathfinder gatekeepers. So the long-term vision, the science towards technology breakthrough, of course, the objective and the methodology, and the interdisciplinary approach of the proposal. Within the impact criteria, the threshold is 3.5 to 5, and the weight is the 20%. But nevertheless, the weight seems to be lower. Actually, here there is a quite connection within the innovation potential of the proposal and the communication and dissemination measures. Furthermore, within the implementation criteria, the threshold is 3 to 5, and the weight is 20% as well. Here, actually, what is going to be evaluated is the quality and expertise of the consortium, but also the balances of the different roles within the consortium, the work plan, of course, and the allocation of resources. So how it is going to be structured, the evaluation process? We are going to look at 4 different experts that are going to see our proposal. Why 4 and not less than 4? Because the approach is that we have interdisciplinary proposals, so we need to find all the relevant expertises in order to define the different, and also to be capable to support the evaluation of such proposals. Those different experts are going to write their different individual evaluation reports, which are going to be collected in order to draft the first evaluation summary report. This evaluation summary report is going to be also rechecked within the panel review. And then we have actually a really big introduction within the European Innovation Council and Horizon Europe as well. The introduction of the so-called rebuttal phase, where actually the consortium will have access to the draft evaluation summary report in order to check if there are contradictory issues or something should be qualified within the evaluation summary report. In that case, so the Pathfinder Open Consortium will have the opportunity to reply in 7 days with 2 word pages to the panel in order to ask for clarification. After those different clarifications that are going to be explained via the panel review, then after 5 months from the EIC Pathfinder Open deadline, the consortium is going to receive its evaluation summary report. So I would like also to give an information concerning the proposal template dedicated to the EIC Pathfinder Open, which was made available on the 9th of March. So at first, we are going to look at a proposal template that is divided in administrative form, the part A, and the part B, that is actually the proposal description. So the part B is specifically is going to be divided in the excellence, impact, and implementation, which together should not be longer than 70 pages. We are going actually to look at within the part B additional pages which are dedicated to the standard modular extension of the proposal template, in particular within the explanation of potential clinical trials, but here in EIC Pathfinder, this should be defined, and the calls flagged has security sensitive related explanation. I would like actually to stress a bit the differences within the previous H2020 proposal template, and so the new fields that are going to be described in the part A. In particular, within the administrative description of the proposal, there is going to be a table that is going to describe the different researchers' careers that and the role of the participating organization within the proposal. There is going also to be defined a self-declaration on gender equality plan, which is going to be drafted for the drafted until the grant preparation phase by the single organization. So the gender equality plan is actually a really big novelty of the European Commission related approach on gender balance, and which is asking to draft a gender equality plan for each organization that would like to participate in Horizon Europe. So actually, within the proposal phase, we are going to look at just a self-declaration on the future gender equality plan, which in any case should be finalized and drafted before the grant agreement phase. Then we are going to look at the fields that has been moved from the previous Horizon 2020 proposal templates, which were the Section 4 and Section 5. So in particular, concerning the Section 4 was the description of the participants. In this case, we are going to have tables of the different description of the participants in the proposal in the administrative forms, as well as for the Section 5 for the ethics self-assessment and the security questionnaire. We are going to look at these at the administrative part of the proposal. Furthermore, I would like to strengthen the new aspects that has been introduced by the European Commission within the proposal templates in the Part B. The proposal template are more descriptive than before, where there is actually a glossary of terms, but there is also a consistency on the use of the terminology that is going to be ensured in all the project phases. So actually, really, there are extensive explanation of the different information that the European Commission would like to look at in these specific sections of the proposal template. Furthermore, concerning the EIC Pathfinder Open, I would like to also to highlight one specific issue that is dedicated to the administrative form within the keywords. As you know, when a proposal is going to be submitted, the keywords is the last thing that a person fill in within the administrative form. But this is actually quite relevant within the EIC Pathfinder Open. Why? Because the keywords are the main element for which the different independent experts are going to be selected. So it should be relevant for you to start thinking about the different fixed and free keywords to be filling in the proposal in order to have the right expertise that is going to be evaluating your proposal. So concerning the different sections, actually we have seen more or less within the EIC Pathfinder gatekeepers and the evaluation criteria, also the sections of the EIC Pathfinder Open proposal template are mirroring which are the evaluation criteria. So we can see the long-term vision. We can see the aspects concerning the science towards technology breakthrough, where here also it has been asked about the advancement concerning the state of the art. Concerning the objectives, here there is actually a change because we are also looking at the high-risk, high-gain research approach and the description of the methodology behind the proposal. And then we are also looking at the interdisciplinary approach and aspects of the proposal for achieving the proposed breakthrough. Concerning the impact section, this is actually quite relevant, has changed, because we can see that here the European Commission is, of course, asking for the innovation potential of our breakthrough technology, but also trying to foster a detailed overview on the proposed measures for the protection of the results, as well as all the different exploitation measures that could support the translation from the research results to the innovations. Here, actually, the EC is asking also for the proposed measure for empowering the key actors that could lead the translation from research to innovation. Who are those key actors, actually? They are the research and innovation community, so represented by young researchers, but also small and medium enterprise or key actors in the innovation community that has the potential to lead the translation and the development of such innovation in the future. Within the impact section, there is going also to be a subsection which is dedicated to communication and dissemination measures, where actually it has been asked to describe the plan for public and stakeholder engagement, the plan dedicated to support the awareness of the project outcomes, in particular taking into account the European principle on open science, so the open access, as well as the open data management plan. And in particular, also all the different actions that could be done in terms of the dissemination in order to support the future exploitation of those innovations. Concerning the implementation, we are going to look at a subsection dedicated to the definition of the quality of the consortium, and as usual, the definition of the different work plans, so the work packages descriptions within the task, the deliverables, the milestone, but also the risk mitigation measures in order to achieve the project objectives, as well as the allocation of resources. All those different sections, excellence, impact, and implementation, are going to be described in 17 pages. This is actually to be highlighted. So I'm going to move within the EIC Pathfinder challenges. Within those different challenges, I would like actually to strengthen and highlight that this is an objective-driven approach. We have talked about a top-down approach, where actually the European Commission has already defined which are the emerging paradigms that should be supported to strengthen their innovation and development, and to strengthen also the research and innovation community behind this emerging technological paradigm. Therefore, actually, the EIC Pathfinder challenges are developing key strategic objectives that are already predefined by the European Commission and that are calling for deep tech and radical thinking. They would like to strengthen the innovation community and overcome also possible future barriers in terms of introduction within the market. They are going to look at the possibility to present via multidisciplinary collaboration or as well mono-beneficiary presentation. In particular here, as Gerald was saying, here we have the management, the proactive management that is going to be made by the program managers, as well as the EIC Pathfinder Open. We have actually the research and innovation action as type of action. So all the different partners that are going to be included here, from the university to the research organization to the big corporate or to the small and medium enterprise, are going to have a 10% of eligible cost related funding, as well as the EIC Pathfinder Open. This is going to be made via a single step submission. Actually, we have in this case 4 million euros that are going to be dedicated to one specific project, where also the project could add 50k million in order to take part within an EIC project portfolio or to furtherly exploit relevant results. And in this case, we are going to look at the opening by the 15th of June, and the deadline is going to be done by the 17th of October. I would like to focus on the EIC project portfolio, because this is actually a key concept dedicated to the EIC Pathfinder challenges. So what is an EIC project portfolio? Is a group of selected projects that are going to be selected in order to support thematic specific communities or objective-driven communities and related technological trends, which actually are supporting the establishment of a critical mass and structuring the research and innovation community behind this specific portfolio. Within those different EIC project portfolio, of course, the select projects are going to look at synergies to establish a vision together. So representing each one of them a piece of a puzzle that is really supporting a strategic objective predefined by the European Commission, in order also to support furthermore the exploitation and the maturation of the different emerging technological paradigms that has been identified within the portfolios. So actually, which are going to be probably the main portfolios that we are going to look at? We have 5 different open calls that are going to be open concerning the EIC Pathfinder challenges. We have the challenge dedicated awareness inside that was cited before. We have the challenge dedicated to tools to measure and stimulate the activity in the brain tissue, emerging technologies in cell and gene therapy, engineered living materials, and as well novel routes to green hydrogen production. So concerning those different challenges, concerning awareness inside, the main idea here is to develop new concepts of awareness that are applicable to systems other than human, as well as to demonstrate and validate the role and the added value of such an awareness in an aware technology class or artifacts or services. One of the other objectives of the awareness side is to define an integrative approach for awareness engineering. Within the challenge, tools to measure and stimulate activity in the brain tissue, the idea is to develop novel neurotechnologies to diagnose or treat brain, spinal cord, or peripheral nerve-related disorders in the way that they can be rapidly accepted by clinicians and patients. Within the EIC Pathfinder challenges concerning emerging technologies in cell and gene therapy, here the support is dedicated to breakthrough projects that propose a novel concept-based technological solution or technological platforms that are far beyond the current state of the art, in particular by tackling current bottlenecks from the discovery to the manufacturing steps towards clinical grade, and thus reinforcing the critical components of the European cell and gene therapy community. The other two different challenges are dedicated to green hydrogen production and engineered living material. For green hydrogen production, the idea is to support projects to develop novel processes and technologies to produce green hydrogen at different scales, so from small to large, but also with higher flexibility, entirely based on renewable resources and on the use of toxic-free, non-critical raw materials. Within the engineered living material challenges, here the support is going to be given for projects that aim to develop new technologies and platforms for the control and main on-demand production for engineered living materials with multiple functionalities, shapes, and scales. In particular, all those different challenges that I was actually presenting here have a quite specific description in the EIC work program. So I really invite you to look at, if you are interested in one of them, to look at the specific work program to define all the different aspects of each specific challenge. So actually, how those EIC Pathfinder challenges has been identified. In particular, there has been an horizon scanning exercise that has been made by several actions. At first, by supporting foresight activities and projects that has been supported previously during the EIC Pilot Phase, in particular the PREFET and OBSERVE projects, but also via identify potential studies and reports that has been relevant for the identification of the emerging paradigms for the future. Furthermore, the European Commission has proceeded for defining a scanning exercise and a dedicated consultation of the previously EIC Pathfinder Open and FET Open projects and stakeholders, of course. So actually, there's going to be a scan for the existing portfolios of projects that have been funded, but also it has been asked to the EIC program manager to give their own inputs on the definition of the specific challenges. So concerning the evaluation criteria, in particular, in this case, as you can see, we have as well the excellence, impact, and implementation, and as well as in the EIC Pathfinder Open, we have the same thresholds and weights, but the main differences here are on the different sub-criterion. In particular, we can see that for the excellence, there is of course a relevance to the EIC challenge that has been pre-identified, the novelty of the proposed approach, as well as the plausibility of the methodology. In terms of the impact criterion, we can see that there is not only the innovation potential and communication and dissemination, but also the potential impact that this proposal can have within the overall challenge and far beyond the specific community. In terms of the quality and efficiency of the implementation, the main difference from the EIC Pathfinder Open is actually the possibility to describe also the team that is going to apply to the proposal, even if the team is represented by one institution and not a multidisciplinary consortium. In this case, we are going to have a proposal template of 25 pages, which actually has not been made available yet. So we do not have the same information that we had for the EIC Pathfinder Open. But we know actually that there is going also to be given an additional information concerning the challenge guidance, which is actually supporting the definition of the challenge within also giving different information concerning the specific challenge and the community behind the challenge, which is going to be made available by the same date of the opening of the open call. So the evaluation process here is a bit different, because actually in this case, we are going to have in particular 3 experts that are going to be to evaluate our proposal. And the second step of the evaluation afterwards, the collection of the individual evaluation reports, is reflected to the portfolio consideration. The challenge is going to see the presence of an evaluation committee that, of course, is specific for that specific challenge, plus the program manager dedicated to that challenge that could actually look at within the evaluation committee for specific portfolio considerations that could also change in a way the ranking list. Because actually, if one proposal is going to be more and more appreciated for a specific objective of that challenge, that proposal could be also supported because of the portfolio consideration. The final evaluation summary report is going to be distributed after 5 months from the call deadline. So actually, we have cited also in this phase the relevance of the program managers. The EC has already identified the program managers that are going to look at the specific Pathfinder challenges. So this slide is also for giving you information of whom is going to take part to the evaluation process. And I would like to finalize this first presentation by giving a summary of all the funding opportunities. So actually, we have seen the Pathfinder Open, so for a proposal of 3 million, and the Pathfinder challenges dedicated to specific action for the proposal of 4 million euros. There are different deadlines. In particular, for the Pathfinder Open, there is the deadline that is now open, the proposal by the 19th of May, and for the Pathfinder challenges, the 27th of October. And as you can see here, we have also the information concerning the eligibility criteria to apply to those different topic codes. I would like also to give to you some specific information via some further sources that you can look at. In particular, for the EIC Pathfinder, the European Commission is making available the business acceleration services, which are available within the EIC community platform. So I would like that you have also the chance to look at the different services that the EC is making and the EIC is making available for you. The EIC dedicated Pathfinder Data Hub and the Innovation Radar platform to look at the different projects that are being supported. I have mentioned the Deep Tech Europe report, and also this independent report dedicated to the proactive management that could be relevant for you to look at in order to find more information on those specific issues. I would like to cite also the Access to EIC NCP network, where we are publishing several information concerning all the different schemes of the European Innovation Council. And final, the specific coordination and support action that has been supported for communication and outreach of the EIC Pathfinder Pilot funded projects. Okay. Okay, so.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Now we have time for questions.
Okay, I can see.
For questions, yeah.
I don't know if I have replied already to Ali Serpengiu-Zella, in particular, how do university participate in this program? So actually, as I was mentioning, the participation is quite relevant. Those are EIC Pathfinder projects, are projects that mainly are led by university and research performing organization, but can also have the opportunity to participate in collaboration in multidisciplinary consortia with big enterprises, big corporate, big industries, or small and medium enterprises, startups, and spin-off. So can a company apply with 2 different projects to the EIC Pathfinder call? Actually, yes. Yes, the issue here is that you cannot apply for the same type of actions in terms of it has to be ensured that there is not going to be a double funding of the same activities within 2 different projects. And also, I would like to ask, in the case there are too many applications, probably there is an issue concerning the different emerging paradigms that you are supporting. Because if you are, for example, a small and medium enterprise or a startup or a spin-off, it could be difficult for the same startup or spin-off to follow up that specific innovation and follow up more than one specific innovation and scaling up it to the market. I hope that I have replied to this question.
For university, it's possible.
Yeah,
Marta,
for university it's possible, of course.
Next question is in Turkish language. Let me translate it. Is it obligatory to have a university partner in the consortium for Pathfinder Open? No, I don't think.
No.
Would you like to comment? Okay.
At all. Can I comment on this?
Okay.
Actually, it's not necessary, but since we are in the first technology readiness levels, it could be relevant. So it's up to you, of course, but it's not necessary at all.
Okay, let me translate it in Turkish. Nilay Hanım'ın sorusu, peki mutlaka üniversite mi olması gerekiyor ortaklardan birinin sorusu için verilen cevap, öyle bir zorunluluk yok. Tabii ki TRL seviyesi düşük olan projelerden bahsettiğimiz için üniversite olması çok beklenen bir şey ama öyle bir zorunluluk yok. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Can I ask also if Gerald?
Oh, there is one more.
Okay. Okay, you mentioned about the areas of the challenges. So the proposals are expected to focus on those areas only, right? For 2021, yes. The challenges are going to be identified, new challenges for the next work programs. So for the EIC Pathfinder challenges identified in 2021, yes, those are the 5 challenges pre-identified. And I saw also, as an individual applicant, can I apply more than one project? Yes, of course. I'm sorry, I would like to take advantage that we have Gerald here
Yes, I'm back.
Gerard still with us.
I don't know if you want to stress some things that.
Oh, yes. Thanks a lot, Martha. It was an amazing presentation. I think a lot of information for our constituency. So it was very thorough. So thanks a lot. So maybe let me still strengthen a few points. So there are two calls this year in the Pathfinder. There is one which is open, and open is bottom up, which means that you come in with your ideas and it's not prescriptive. This call is already opened, and the deadline, I think it's 19th of May. And there will be another call, which is called Challenges in the Pathfinder. And this one is top down. So this is more prescriptive. And in this one, you will be told what is the expectation. So it's really different. So these are two different calls. And I think it was important to really repeat it so that everybody understands that the open is bottom up and the challenges is top down and is more prescriptive. And actually, on top of the work program for the challenges, you will also have a challenge guide, which will be published sometime in June, if I'm not mistaken, providing even more information about what is expected. So I wanted to clarify this one. Then on the question, I think you rightly answered, Martha and Tariq, so I don't have much to add. Nevertheless, I would like to strengthen 2 points that you have mentioned. Are you still hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, because I have to check now. The one aspect that you mentioned is on the keywords, and that's really, really important for us because this is how we actually cluster the projects. This is how we allocate experts. So be very, very precise on your keywords when you send an application to us, because the experts are allocated according to these keywords. And sometimes applicants don't pay attention to this, and that's a really important aspect. So really the keyword, you have to pay attention to this one. There was also another aspect that was mentioned, which is a rebuttal procedure. And this is only for the open. So it's not for the challenges. So I wanted to clarify as well to everyone that this is only for the open scheme. And this rebuttal process actually is between what we call the remote phase and the evaluation committee. So basically, you will have 4 experts for the open who will have a look at your proposal. Then the collated report will be sent out to the applicants, and you will have the opportunity to actually comment on this report. So if you don't agree, or if there is an obvious mistake or whatever, this is the opportunity that is given to applicants to give a feedback. And this feedback will be analyzed by our experts, which are part of the evaluation committee. So it was called, I think, panel review in the slides of Martha. And these people will have a look at your reply to these comments. So that I wanted to clarify the process of rebuttal, because it's a quite new process, and they will take into account what is said by the applicant, make their decision upon this reply. So these were the few things I wanted maybe to add, but I think it was very complete and very clear. Hope this helps.
Thank you. There is a question which is quite interesting, and we have Gerard here. I do not have the reply, so Gerard, please.
Yes, which one is it?
I have a question regarding the 2022 call for the EIC Pathfinder Open. Mm-hmm. Shall we expect that a similar call will be open around the same times next year? Was there any option to opinion shared from you? Thank you. So for the next year, actually.
Yeah, so we can, okay, I cannot commit to it. I will start with this. Nevertheless, I can expect the EIC Pathfinder Open call next year, and it will be most probably a yearly call, but of course, this is still under discussion. In the past, you know, the open calls were every 8 months or so. So you can expect now a yearly call for the Pathfinder Open. And then should we expect that a similar call will be open around the same time as next year? I would assume yes, but of course you have to wait for the actual information. And was there any opinion shared from EU, etc.? So I just did it. Voilà. But yes, you can expect a yearly call for the Pathfinder Open, to be very clear.
Tarık, next question is in Turkish, I think.
Yes. Yes. Peki biz Türkiye'den bir KOBİ, bir de üniversiteyle ortaklık kurup başvurursak 2 ayrı ortak olarak mı değerlendiriliyor yoksa tek bir ortaklık mı? Yani şöyle, let me give an answer in Turkish to this question.
Yes, please.
It's about the composition of the consortium. Yani Türkiye'den şöyle, en az 3 ülkeden birer tane kuruluş konsorsiyumda yer almak zorunda. Bu minimum kriteri sağladıktan sonra o konsorsiyumda yer alan ülkelerden ikinci, üçüncü ortaklar da yer alabilir. Onunla ilgili herhangi bir sıkıntı yok ama en az 3 ülkeden birer tane kuruluş yer almak zorunda ve bu 3 ülkeden bir tanesinin de Avrupa Birliği üye ülkesi olması gerekir ve bu 3 ülkenin de hem yani ya birlik üyesi ülkelerden ya da bizim gibi asosya ülkelerden bir tanesinden olması gerekiyor. Okay.
Fine. So all questions by now. Okay, so let's give Marta a short break and maybe we will move to our Slido again. We have 3 minutes for Slido. Can I ask my colleagues to start to open polls? We have question again on experience in new funding and types of projects you were participating in. So again, we will ask you to copy, to go to Slido and to answer questions. We see the first one. There is also option, no experience in submitting proposals. So. Let's wait. We have only 4. Please join us at Slido. All this is important for us in preparation of the next trainings. Okay. We have only 11 answers. No more. Okay, maybe we will move to the next one. Is a question about the type of action you are participating in, a number of choices. You can select more than one. few more, please. Few more answers. Okay, if there is no more persons willing to answer, we will move on. Oh, this is for the last, after we present all opportunities, also. Okay, Marta, we are moving now to European Innovation Council transition part. So,
Okay.
Commission expects from applicants to EIC transition.
Okay, let me share the screen. You should be able to see it now.
Yes, see.
Perfect. Okay, so we have talked about the EIC Pathfinder actions, which are one of the instruments of the European Innovation Council, but then do not forget that we have other two instruments, the EIC Transition and the EIC Accelerator. So here we can see, we have already seen this slide, but what I would like to focus on is that the EIC transition is going to foster the maturation of an emerging technology that has been already identified. So what is going to be looked at here is the validation from the laboratory to the demonstration of the prototype in an operational environment. So actually, what is the EIC transition scheme concerning about? The transition scheme is dedicated to support the transition to innovation via three different tracks: the transition to technology, to the market, or to entrepreneurship. So actually, within those different three tracks, this means that the European Commission is going to look at projects that would like to advance the research up to tier 6 or 5, involving in particular the possibility to mature those different technologies and improving also their market readiness levels. Within the transition to the market, actually, DC is supporting principally projects that are led by small and medium enterprises or startups, which would like to furtherly exploit the results that are coming from different projects as a single partner or in small collaboration. Here, the objective is to mature the technologies as well as the market readiness levels. Within the transition to entrepreneurship, actually, there is the willingness from the European Commission to furtherly support those side results that are emerging from previously funded projects that has the possibility to have actually higher TRL levels and has the possibility to be quickly commercialized. So in this case, the willingness is to support really the market uptake of those different technologies. So actually, as the EIC Pathfinder, also here we have two different open calls, the EIC Transition Open and the EIC Transition Challenges. The EIC Transition Open would like to support from the experimental proof of principle, support the validation of the prototype in the laboratory. But here the objective is also to furtherly support the development of the business cases and the strategy to furtherly uptake and support the acceleration of the future technologies. In this case, so we are going to look at also specific actions dedicated to technology transfer, to spin-outs, but also licensing. Within the EIC Transition Open, there is the possibility to present via multi or mono beneficiary schemes, as well as the same is for the EIC Transition Challenges. For both the scheme, the objective is to support projects for 2.5 million euros, plus giving them the opportunity via an agreement within the project officer to have 50K more for furtherly exploiting the specific results, or in the case they are going to be part of an EIC project portfolio, to look at synergies with the other projects part of the portfolios. Actually, the different calls are going to be closed by the 22nd of September. For these, for the EIC transition, we have also an open call for proposal that is going to be based on a top-down approach. Actually, via the EIC Transition Challenges, what this means? This means that the European Commission has already identified the objective and the emerging paradigms that would like to support, in this case, for the furtherly maturation of those pre-identified deep tech paradigms, in particular in two different fields, for medical technology and devices, from laboratory to patients, and from the maturation of energy harvesting and storage technologies. So which are the EIC transition eligibility conditions? Actually, here we have a several set of eligibility conditions, I have to say. So the proposal should be built on results that are coming by an eligible project. So they should be built on a demonstrated proof of principle that has been already identified in EIC Pathfinder projects, in particular including the EIC Pilot Pathfinder projects, the FET Open, the FET Proactive Calls, the FET Flagship, but also the Eranet co-fund related open call, in particular Kistera, Quantera, and Fleggera, but also the FET Innovation Launchpad has as well all the different research and innovation actions coming from different calls, from those different calls. Furthermore, the eligible projects are also the ones coming from the European Research Council, in particular the one funded under the proof of concept related scheme. The project should be active since 12 months prior to the deadline, or lasting in the upcoming 24 months, in the case they are actually already finalized. And who can participate in those different proposals? It should be not necessary to have, I would say, those call for proposal are not closed as they seem, because the consortia or the single beneficiary could be also a participant that was not previously funded in those specific actions, for example, within the EIC Pathfinder Pilot, or within the FET Flagships or the Eranet co-fund actions. This is actually something that is quite relevant. It should be built on the results, so on the demonstrated proof of principle, but in the case the owner of the intellectual property would like to, in a way, to give the right to use of the IP, but also of the know-how generated in the initial project to an external partner, this could be actually defined and could be identified also for the application of the EIC transition call. So this call is open to everyone that would like to support the maturation of a demonstrated proof of principle that comes from those different projects. Who can apply? In this case, we have talked about single legal entities or small consortium. In particular, here we have the opportunity to apply in the mono-beneficiary scheme with specific reference to small and medium enterprise, startup or spin-off, or as well research performing organization, research, university, research or technology organizations. There isn't the possibility to apply for the mono-beneficiary scheme to larger companies. The larger companies are not eligible to apply as a single entity. But there is also the possibility to apply as a small consortium of minimum 2, maximum 5 independent legal entities coming from member states or associated countries to Horizon Europe, which at least one should be coming from one specific member state of the European Union. In this case, the consortia are going to be actually structured and based by including university, research performing organization, small and medium enterprise, or larger company. But I would like to highlight this issue. But actually here we are going also to look to the user or customer organization or potential end users. So where we are going to involve hospitals, utilities, industrial communities that are going to actually to be our future client of our technology. But also here we can involve also regulatory or standardization bodies or public authorities. Why? Because the idea here is to support also the identification of the relevant market or regulatory barriers that could really affect the entry of such technology into the market. So here the idea is to support the maturation of the technology, but also support all the identification of all the measures dedicated to further enhance the entrance of this technology into the market, and so furtherly emphasize and upgrade the market readiness levels. So as we have seen, we have the EIC Transition Open, which is, I would like to come back a bit, which is open for all those different schemes, in particular, all the different tracks that we can see in this slide, the transition to technology, to the market, and to entrepreneurship. And it's mainly based via a bottom-up approach. This means that here within the EIC Transition Open, you can apply for all different technologies and whatever application domain you would like to apply. For the EIC Transition Challenges, actually, the European Commission has already identified 2 different challenges. In this specific case, we have the energy investing and storage technologies, where actually the aim is to perform the necessary research and development to advance from an existing proof of principle to a mature version of that technology, but as well, as you can see, to develop the exploitation strategy, outlining the proposed path to innovation and describing a possible business plan for your idea, as well as providing, of course, key, clear and ambitious performance targets and progress milestones. In particular here, the main focus is going to be help for combining energy harvesting and storage into integrated systems and technologies. Also, we are proposing innovative concepts for the harvesting and storage of solar energy in the form of heat or solar fuels, geothermal or waste heat. We have also the specific information concerning the interseasonal and long-term energy storage, cooling and cryogenic storage, building integrated solutions, but also thermal mechanical energy storage and conversion, and chemical loop-based solutions. Furthermore, this EIC Transition Challenge is going to furtherly support the maturation of advanced materials and devices for electrochemical storage with toxic-free and no critical raw materials. Within the other EIC Transition Challenge, there is going to be a focus on medical technologies and devices from lab to patients, where actually also here you can see that the idea is to perform the necessary research and development to advance this existing proof of principle technology to a mature version, but of course here to initiate a clinical evaluation. So we are going to look actually for the validation of safety and efficacy in a clinical setting, but also to look at development of the exploitation strategy, outlining and describing also the proposed path to patients, as well as describing the investable proposition. Here we are going also to look at the substantial evolution from the lab version. In particular, here the European Commission is giving to us some specific example, for example, recast with electronics, software, materials, ICT, system operating environment and processing, compliant with the appropriate safety standards and suitable for the future manufacturing related quality levels. So as you can see, actually the EIC transition open and challenges really would like to support the middle steps of the innovation spectrum. So actually, how is going to be built the evaluation process here? We are going to look at the same evaluation criteria: excellence, impact, and implementation. But look now, we do not have any weight. We are going to see threshold, but specifically the threshold for excellence and impact is 4 to 5 for both of them. So as you can see, if we look at the Pathfinder previously and we look now at the transition, we have actually a really strengthened position of the impact related criterion. In terms of excellence, in particular, what is going to be looked at is the technology breakthrough, the feasibility, and the objectives. In terms of impact, here we are going to see the business and market fit, the economic and societal benefits, the path to entrepreneurship, and also the partnership and investment readiness levels. In terms of quality and efficiency of the implementation, the threshold is 3 to 5. And here we have the quality of the team, even if it's going to be presented by one small medium enterprise. So in that case, it's going to be evaluated the quality of the single entity and the team involved for this project. Of course, the milestone and the work plan and the allocation of resources. Here, I have given directly the information that the European Commission made available to us. So concerning the excellence, the technological breakthrough, actually here we can see that what is going to be looked at is the degree of the novelty compared to the other technologies available. and also the potential for new application as well as functionalities of this technology. The technology feasibility, so actually if those results are relevant for technology demonstration and validation in order also to indicate the potential for future application. And as well, in terms of objectives, what is going to be looked at is if those potential application has been identified and if they are plausible. And of course, which are the measures, the objectives, the measures and the concept behind the proposal in order to furtherly support the development and validation in relevant application environments of the planned technology. Concerning the evaluation criteria dedicated to impact, as you can see here, we have in terms of business and market fit is going to be seen the connection with the development of the business model and also the product features that address the future commercialization. Furthermore, is going to be look at the management of the intellectual property rights, but also if all the measures dedicated to identify the barriers for the entrance in the market in terms of regulatory barriers, certification, or standardization related barriers has been indicated and of course are going to be overcome. But as you can see, what is also going to be looked at is the involvement of potential users and customers. In terms of economic and societal benefits, this is actually dedicated to identify the positive impacts that the project is going to generate in terms of employment, societal, environment, or scientific impact, but also if the innovation has the potential to create a substantial technological demand of that specific technological device or product and has the potential to create new markets. In terms of entrepreneurship, what is going to be looked at are the measures to build a strong and motivated entrepreneurial team with the necessary expertises. And here you can see that the expertises that are foreseen are in terms of technology, product engineering, but also business development. And as you can imagine here, the also the consortium is quite identified, I would say. And as well as in terms of partnerships and investment readiness, the information that are going to be looked at are the proposed measure to become and to possible develop plans for the commercialization of project outcomes. Finally, in terms of implementation, of course, we have all the different measures dedicated to the quality of the team. Also, which is the motivation, but also which is the possibility to create a unique commercial value in the future and develop the attractive business and investment proposition. In terms of milestone and work plan, what is going to be looked at is the pathway towards deployment clearly described. Are the milestones adequately and clearly defined? And of course, is the innovation method as well as the risk mitigation method, are there actually plausible in order to reach the pre-identified milestone and the project objectives? As well in this specific implementation, of course, the implementation criteria is going to be looked at the allocation of resources. How is done the evaluation process? Actually, this is a bit difficult to explain, but I'll try. So In this case, the proposal is going to be evaluated by 3 experts that are going to proceed to the evaluation of the proposal and to the draft or their specific individual evaluation after and within 9 weeks from the deadline of the proposal, of the call for proposal, the Eic Transition Open or Challenge. After those 9 weeks, there is going to be between the 9th week and the 13th week, there is going to be a phase where the individual evaluation report and the ranking list is going to be looked at via the panel, the panel meeting. After the 13th week, the project consortium is going to be actually invited for a second step of evaluation, where is going to be asked to make face-to-face interviews directly with the EIC jury. The EIC jury, of course, is going to be mainly based by 6 experts plus the EIC program manager, where actually they are going to look at all the different phases dedicated to the maturation and development of your specific technology. After the face-to-face interviews, there is going to be actually a go or no-go votation, where actually the EIC jury will decide if that project is going to be funded or not. The evaluation summary report and the final decision of the EIC jury will be received after 17 weeks from the call deadline. So I would like actually to really going via the finalization of the presentation by giving to you 2 different information concerning the possibility that those implemented projects under the Eic transition scheme will have. In the case the project review is going to determine that there is the potential for making a deployment of such innovation, the project could apply to the EIC accelerator via the fast track scheme. So actually submitting directly the full application of the accelerator dedicated codes. In terms of specific proposals that do not reach the opportunity to get it funded via the Eic transition open calls, and in particular to the ones that has been applied by small individuals, small and medium enterprise, there is going to be the opportunity to have a seal of excellence that will give access to the business acceleration services, but also giving access to several services that would like to support and facilitate the provision of funding from other sources, also at national level. So I would like to make a recap. This call should be launched, actually it should be launched today, but today I didn't find in the funding and tender portal any information at the moment. So I hope that this is going to be available really soon. Via also a deadline by the 22nd of September for both the EIC Transition Open and the Eic Transition Challenges. There is going to be a dedicated budget of 59.6 million for the Eic Transition Open Scheme and 40.5 million for the 2 different challenges that will have an equal share of approximately a redistribution for each of the 2 challenges. In terms of the proposal details, these are going to be funded projects of expected 2.5 million euro per project via a single step submission. via a research and innovation action has type of action. So also here, the small and medium enterprise, but also the big enterprise, it can participate by in having the eligibility of the 100% of the eligible cost. And is going to be submitted a proposal of 25 pages for the 3 sections: excellence, impact, and implementation. So also here, I wanted to give to you some sources, in particular the EIC dedicated page within the EIC website dedicated to the EIC transition, where you have the chance to also to download the EIC work program. For all the different schemes, EIC Pathfinder, EIC Transition, and EIC Accelerator, the European Commission has given the FAQs, so you have also the opportunity to read them and find relevant answers to your question. I have started my previous presentation with the EIC Applicant Day. I wanted to give you also, beside the recording, also the reference to the PowerPoint that has been presented during the 19th of March. The EIC community as well, where actually there are several opportunities to further exploit your innovation. I wanted also to cite to you the different projects, the 13 projects that has been funded during the pilot phase. In particular, in November 2019, 13 project has been funded under the scheme EIC Transition to Innovation Activities, which in terms of eligibility conditions are a bit diverse from the ones that apply for those open calls, but in terms of activities could be really relevant to look at. And I wanted also to cite another time the FedEx Communication and Outreach project. In particular, as you have seen, we have discussed a bit on the EIC program manager, their role in terms of proactive management. So within the collaboration of the FedEx and the Access to EIC project, we have organized in collaboration with the EIC Advisory Board and the different program managers, an event that has been held on the 26th of March this year. And actually, I really encourage you to look at what they have told to us in terms of proactive management. And furthermore, I would like to inform you that probably in June, we are going to publish within the Access to EIC NCP network a fact sheet dedicated to the scheme EIC Transition. So I have finalized my presentation. And I would like to ask you if you have any question. Before of that, I would like to cite my email address in the case you would like also to make other questions in the future.
Thank you, Marta. I think we have 2 questions now. Can you look at them? And also Tariq, if you would like also.
Okay, Sema, from Sema Sengor, actually, I will reshare another time my presentation because I think that it's quite easy to see. I'm sorry, because probably now you are seeing my screen and not the presentation itself. Can you see my presentation actually?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, perfect. So, oh my God, I don't know
We lost it.
where it was. Okay, you have lost it? Okay, let me check now.
Fine, yeah.
Okay, so for the Pathfinder Open, so for the projects that are going to fund the early stage of research and development, so TRL from 1 to 4. We are going to have the EIC Pathfinder Open that has a deadline until the 19th of May. But we are going also to have the EIC Pathfinder Challenges that has the deadline for the 27th of October. For the final projects that we have actually called for proposal that we have seen right now, the EIC Transition, we have actually the deadline that is for the 22nd of September. So for the maturation of pre-identified results from previously funded projects. I hope that I have replied to the questions and also clarifying a bit. Okay, so let me see the other question. Regarding the transition, will the previous FET grantees invite other partners to build consortium regardless of their having been awarded FET or not? Okay, actually, this EIC transition is open for both the previously funded consortia, but also the beneficiary that has not been previously funded by the previous FET Open or FET Proactive project. So you can include in your specific consortia in the EIC transition also the ones that also other partners different and diverse from the previous consortium. This is something that can be relevant. You can also, if you want to furtherly exploit your result by a single beneficiary that was not previously funded, you can also invite him to apply alone. Actually, he can, by giving access to the knowledge and the IP of that specific result. So actually, there are 3 options. You can apply with your previous beneficiaries by accessing different partners. The second option by including different partners from the previous consortium. But also, the third option is that different beneficiary can apply for your result that has been already identified and funded in the FET project. I don't know, Tariq, if I was clear in English. If you want to explain it in Turkish, maybe.
No, it was very clear. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Because sometimes in English it's always difficult.
I don't know. We always mention that to the audience that they can feel themselves comfortable about speaking in Turkish, asking in Turkish as well. So some of them did that way. So we are here.
Maybe Gerard would like to add something if he is still. I think he's still with us.
Yes, I'm here, carefully listening. Well, I think again it was very comprehensive presentation, and I would like to clarify that this transition is actually a novelty as well in the EIC, because in the past we have noticed that we were funding research on one side, that was the FET, and then innovation, that was the SME instrument. And with transition, it's actually creating this bridge between the research and innovation. So that's one of the main principles of this transition. And to answer to the question, so basically it was what was said. And clearly, you do not need to be a participant, actually, or the principal investigator or result owner of the previous project to bid for the transition. So it's a possibility to be also somebody who has not participated, but you have to demonstrate that you own the IPR or that you have the commercial right or whatever is needed actually to be able to make a project. So I think that was an important clarification. So many possibilities. Either you have not been part of the project, or you have people part of the project and they have a new consortium. That's a possibility. Maybe one aspect that I would like to clarify in terms of eligibility, because you understand that for this scheme, it is restricted to application based on results generated by eligible projects. Okay, and let's take an example of an eligible project. Let's say EIC Pilot Pathfinder Open project. And in this case, you have two possibilities before you can actually bid for a transition. You have the case where the eligible project is still running, and this project needs to be running for more than 12 months. So you cannot actually make a transition proposal based on a project which has less than 12 months of existence. The reason is simple, because you do not really generate a lot within the first 6 or 12 months of a project. So it makes sense to wait a little bit before you can actually use the results of the project. So that's one case about the running projects. But the second case, and I think needs to be clarified, is when projects are actually completed. And in that case, you can apply within 24 months after the completion of the eligible project. So I think this needed to be clarified, and you have these two cases, so that gives a lot of time actually to reflect and to be able to take up these innovations, this IPR, and actually go for the scaling up and of this project. So I wanted to clarify these two aspects, but again, I think it was very well explained, and for me that was great, and I hope it helps.
Thank you, Gerard. Actually, I have to be honest, this is something that it's always difficult to me to translate from Italian to English. So, and from English to Italian all the time. So actually, thank you for clarifying this, because all the time it's quite making confusion also to myself.
No worries. Imagine in Turkish then. So
yeah, exactly.
I can help you.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like, before we will come to our last speaker, and I see our last speaker already prepared, I would like to ask again my team to launch two last questions, because we are asking if you are interested in participation in Pathfinder. So this is important question. If you still, after all explanations, would like to submit proposal. Okay, let's wait. Maybe we'll have a few more answers. Okay, we have few people which are considering submitting proposal. Let's go to the final. We were asking about Pathfinder. What about transition? I think it's not. Please add your answers. Okay, I don't see more persons willing to answer our question. So now, I think, Tariq, we can move to the last
Yes, exactly.
session. Could you introduce our guest?
Exactly. Actually, there are very few projects, FET projects from Turkey, and Professor Çataltepe is a partner of one of the successful projects. And we would like to hear about her experiences in this stage. So, Professor Çataltepe, I'd like to give floor to you.
Hello, and thank you for this great program. I wish such programs existed when I applied for our project, when we applied for our project as well. And I'm interested in applying. So thank you so much. So I have some slides to share. Let's see if I can share them. I suffer from having too many screens, too many things on my plate all the time. So just 1 second. It's going to be, yes, there it is. Okay. So thank you for inviting me, and I hope I don't bore you at the end of the day. So I'm here as Zehra Çataltepe, who is the CEO and co-founder of Tazi AI, as well as a professor at Istanbul Technical University Computer Engineering Department. And I'll talk about our experience with the Horizon 2020 program and a particular project that we are involved in right now. So,
excuse me, could you try to
yes,
go into full screen, maybe?
I'll try.
Or not? Oh, is it?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, great.
So let me know if I can go to the next page, because sometimes it doesn't work. So can you see the next page?
Works.
Okay, all right, great. Okay, so just 1 second. Let me go back. Okay, so Tazi is it's a first of all, maybe everybody I'm sure knows about Istanbul Technical University. So I'll just say a couple of words about Tazi. It's an AI startup started in Istanbul and with headquarters also in San Francisco. And we have been named the first cool vendor from Turkey in core AI technologies by Gartner. And I think it's really all about team. So we have like more than 60 years of experience, both in terms of machine learning and in terms of software systems. We have a great team, and we have a great set of advisors from great institutions. So I think, as in every other case, it's all about human. So like humans get the work done at the end. And I want to talk about what we do at Tazi, because it's related to what we do at Horizon 2020. So we decided to bring AI to everyone, because I have been doing AI research since my PhD, even since from my bachelor's degree. And we realized that all the AI projects that we created suffered from continuity. So you create a project, you deploy it, and then data changes, and when data changes, you don't have a solution deployment anymore, because almost as much effort as creation of the project is needed to maintain it or to recreate it when things go wrong. So we decided to create an AI which was democratized, which means AI which is not just for data scientists, not just for computer engineers or coders. And I'm a data scientist and I'm a computer engineer, by the way. We wanted to provide AI which was understandable, which was fast and easy to deploy, and also it has continuous learning capabilities. So that understandable AI part actually is what got us into the Horizon 2020 project that we are involved in right now. And at the end, our aim is, I tell this to everyone, at the end, my aim is for my mom to use AI systems, but we are not there yet. So what we have right now is we have teams of experts, human beings doing their business, and then we have AI solutions interacting within themselves and with the teams. So that requires understandability of AI systems by human beings, and also understandability of humans by AI systems. So you have to have some interaction going on between humans and AI. And that actually is the topic of our Horizon 2020 project, Trust AI. And it's a research and innovation action project, which will last for 48 months, starting in October 2020. And our goal in this project is in 3 different application areas for cancer, energy, spending, and also retail, having AI systems that interact with humans. And they are understandable, because if they are understandable, then humans will trust them, and humans will actually use them for their business. So that's the project, and I think there are relationships between our project and one of the topics in EIC, which is active right now. So when I look at this project, I have been thinking of what I could tell that could be useful for you guys. So I decided to talk about 2 different things. One of them, it takes a village to create these projects. So as you see, we have from very different countries. I don't even remember how many countries are involved, but there is Greece, there is Portugal, there is France. So we have different institutions from different countries which are creating pieces of the puzzle that make the project, and that requires really a huge amount of coordination. So one partner, in my experience with this project and also with the other EU projects that I have been involved in, it's really important to have a partner that has experience in management of multinational EU projects, because there is not only the task of coordination of parties so that the project goals can be realized, deliverables can be produced, but also these projects have lots of documentation, and documentation has been reduced, by the way, a lot, but still there is a lot of documentation that needs to be done. And the other part is, as you see, we have complementary and many organizations, and it's the first time actually with some of these people I have been meeting for the first time. I have met for the first time in this project. I didn't know them before. So the reason why we have been involved in this project is actually because of our product, because of our already existing know-how in understandable AI. Another suggestion for startups like ourselves is the following. The EU projects or any other project support what you do, but as a startup, you can't really live on top of the EU projects. EU projects are good, or projects are good to bring innovation, culture and innovation into your organization. However, we decided to become a product startup. So we make sure that whenever we are involved in a project, that project has to be related to a part of our product. So explainable AI was something that we were doing, we were working on, and we were offering to our customers since 2017. And Trust AI is allowing us to explore this, beautiful and interesting area with these partners who are bringing their own expertise in both different domains and also in terms of different technologies. So, for example, we are one of the partners is bringing in symbolic learning systems, which we didn't have experience with. So the Trust AI project has enabled basically a very difficult problem to be tackled by people from different disciplines and from different backgrounds and expertise. Another thing I should point out is all the parties here have already a huge amount of expertise in what we are doing. So this is not like they just started working on this. They already have papers, some of them have products and tons of experience in what we are doing. I think that's something that needs to be taken into account. So if you are going to get into a project, you have to make sure that the project is relevant not only to your product and to your goals, because as a startup, you cannot survive if you just work for projects. You have to have a scalable product, but also you have to have already expertise so that you can have a significant portion part in that project. Another thing I would like to say is this is not the first time we have been involved in Horizon 2020 projects. I also, with my professor hat, I actually have been a referee between 2015 and 2017 at different Horizon 2020 calls. And one thing I realized in those calls is we received excellent projects, like excellent meaning you look at the team, they are excellent. You look at the ideas, they are top of the, they are going beyond the edge of the technology, and they are all realizable. They are not like dreams. They are very well-crafted stories which have high likelihood of happening, and then yet you have only a limited budget. So I remember really having difficult time deciding on which projects to fund as the committee, because the projects were all so good. It was very difficult to not fund them. So if you applied and if your project hasn't been accepted, it's not because your team or your project wasn't good enough. It's because there were too many projects which were just great. So you should just keep applying. Another thing is, to notice is the networks. We have been very lucky. We were noticed by one of the organizers, one of the parties in this consortium, because of our technology. But I think it's very important to attend activities and to contact the people who are already working in the projects to make sure that you are more proactive than what we have done. I mean, we should be more proactive, and we will be more proactive for other projects. So those are all like experience. We are involved in other projects as well, ITER projects, ITER Daytime and ITER Harmony. ITER Daytime is about continuous learning, which is another part of our product. And again, we are working with many and great partners there. And another project is ITER Harmony, where we are going to be, actually it's just starting, we are going to be creating workflows for healthcare applications. So it's, basically huge consortiums with, really wonderful partners, but lots of work. I mean, lots of work, not only in terms of what you have to do, but lots of communication between parties. So we actually ended up dedicating one person's, a huge portions of a person's time in our company just to handle the communication within these projects. So this was very interesting, the challenge awareness insight. So I find this very interesting, and I just put it up here because as Tazi and as Zehra, we are very interested in this dream. So if you want to talk more, or if you already have project ideas that you could collaborate on, I would love to hear about them. So that's really it. I wanted to really be able to answer questions and talk about some of the experience which might be relevant for you. feel free, please, to ask questions. And my email address is zehra@tazi.ai. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email. So I can take questions if there are any questions. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't waste your time.
No, thank you very much. It was very inspiring. It seems that we will see one proposal from your side for the challenge one. Huh? And I would like to ask one question. Taking into consideration of the expectation of the Commission about moving the project results from PhET or from Pathfinder to the market, taking into consideration of this expectation, do you see any positive signs about your projects? Will you be able to move your results to the market?
Yes, we will. And again, Tarık, this is really about having experience. So for example, for ITEA project, the digital twins.
I used to be Eureka MPC, so I am very well aware of those projects as well.
Okay. I mean, I think it's really about experience and partners. Our partners in this project, the use case providers applied because they really needed solutions for those use cases. So and they had the need, and we have the ability to have not only just research, but also the ability to develop the product. So I don't think it's possible to have real applications without a product-oriented look into these projects. So writing a paper is one thing, but having a product that can be deployed in a real life scenario is something else. So we are going to be able to, and actually we have been able to deploy the results of our research with actual customers, just because we have already a product. We already have a platform that has been used for many years by different customers. So we are able to implement the outcomes of the research on that platform. So I think without solid software, it's not possible to take research into real life. I mean, at this in my area, I'm in software, but you have to have, as soon as you go into real life scenarios, you have issues about, reliability, about, security, about supporting your solution, like having enough manpower, like human power to provide support to your customers. So you have to have all of those in place. And it's possible only with an already existing platform or a product, I think. And for Trust AI, the use cases are very interesting, and we already had actually some customer contacts on those around those use cases. So it's very interesting that we are talking with some potential customers while we are working on the project as well. But again, we are able to talk with customers because we have already a sales and marketing, muscle that is growing. So another part that is needed is sales and marketing. I mean, even if you do the greatest project, customers will not come running to you, and they are not going to tell you. I thought they would tell us, they are not going to tell you, oh, you had such a great product, please give it to me. Nobody will tell that to you. So I thought actually it would be the case, but it wasn't. So you have to convince people that whatever you have is worthy of their precious money that they worked so hard to earn. Okay. So if somebody will give you money, you have to be useful for them, and you have to continue being useful for them. So you have to prove that you can do it. So putting something into real life requires the whole skeleton, or the whole infrastructure of actually a company, from sales and marketing to product support. So yeah, I mean, as a startup, we are very lucky that we first had the product, and then now with the projects we are developing different aspects of our product.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
If I
Professor
can
Çatalpan.
have one comment, because I think that you mentioned very important aspect, that you said that to be successful, to benefit from the European funding, the project has to be in line with the company's strategy, because you have very clear strategy, you are developing product, and then you are looking for not money is always important, but it was not the most important part. The most important is that you are able to develop your product with the support of other partners and benefiting from their expertise and from their innovations. So
Exactly.
I think is the one of the key aspects. Of course, you need a team as well. Good team and good organization, good management. But this is
Alexander,
some people are like, for example, somebody from Europe is asking, or from other countries asking, would you like to join our consortium? Why not? How much you offer me? 100,000 euro. Oh, great. 100,000 euro for this job. But then you are not doing anything else for the company. You are doing something different, which your company is not very much interested in. And it's the good way to fail them. But
exactly. Exactly. And very, I mean, I really love this comment. Thank you so much. I mean, if I were to, summarize what I really wanted to tell to the companies, it was really this, Alexander. Thank you so much, because it's very easy to be lured by those euros, but on the other hand, you realize the most precious thing that a company has is actually time. So when you are diverging into different things, you lose focus.
Resources.
And what we see is when you have alignment of projects with your product goals,
Right.
you suddenly are able to tell, and we are able to tell to people who tell us, you are such a small company, how are you going to race against other companies that have gotten $500 million of investment? We say, well, we are able to bring innovation into product in a very short time, because we have a great team that can implement stuff, and we also are doing research continuously. So that agility, I think, of access to research and also the ability to implement it, I think is precious. And we are able to have that if we focus, if we keep our focus.
Well, Tarek, so we are coming to, I don't see any questions. So we are coming to the closure of our training, and we were trying to cover and to help you to understand the EIC work program, EIC objectives, and of course the calls for proposals. It was quite intensive training. You need probably time to digest it, but we have quite a nice number of participants. So I would like to thank participants and of course all our experts for their contributions and for very great presentations. So we can close. Tarek, maybe you would like to add something.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. This is really a unique opportunity for us to listen from real experts about the program, and I'm also happy with the number of participants. I hope that these events are recorded and published on the website, yes. So it will somehow reach to many more number of people. So thank you very much, Gerald. Thank you very much, Marta and Zehra Hanım. Thank you very much for your experiences. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you, Alexander, for moderation.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Good all.
See you next time.
Bye. Bye.
Be well. Bye-bye.
Thank you.